Jesus told them a story. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who planted good seed in his field. That night, when everyone was asleep, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat and then left. Later, the wheat sprouted and the heads of grain grew, but the weeds also grew. Then the man's servants came to him and said, "You planted good seed in your field. Where did the weeds come from?" The man answered, "An enemy planted weeds." The servants asked, "Do you want us to pull up the weeds?" The man answered, "No, because when you pull up the weeds, you might also pull up the wheat. Let the weeds and the wheat grow together until the harvest time." When Jesus told stories, he liked to use everyday examples so that we could understand what he was talking about. And do you know, Jesus used stories from the garden lots and lots in the New Testament. And I want to talk to you this morning about my garden. Can you see the problem that I'm having here? I've got some lovely plants, but I've also got some horrible weeds that are growing up. And Jesus said that this is a picture of what life is like sometimes when our lives are full of all sorts of good things that are happening, but there are horrible things happening as well. And he said that God deals with us and helps us like a gardener. He identifies the things that are good and he helps them to grow and to flourish. And sometimes the way that he does that is by taking the things that shouldn't be there and digging them up so that they don't cause a problem. Now, what did Jesus mean when he was talking like this? I think Jesus was saying that there are some parts of us that are really nice. You know, when you're a good friend, when you play with someone in the playground, when you do what the teacher asks and you're following the instructions that you're being asked to follow. There are lots of instructions to follow at the moment, aren't there? But they're very, very important for us to listen to. And they keep us safe. But sometimes we do the wrong thing, don't we? Sometimes we even lie about doing the wrong thing. That's not good, is it, when we do that? Because people then get upset with us because we've not been doing a good thing. And Jesus said that those things are a bit like weeds in our lives, and God will help us to take out the things that aren't going to help us to grow up in a good and healthy way. And you know what? When that happens, we're left with lots of space for good things to grow in our lives. I wish it was as easy as that though, because sometimes when I've finished my weeding in the garden and I go away and I come back a week later, and you know what? The weeds have started to grow all over again. This is another new one here. So we have to keep remembering to ask God to help us to be the best people that we possibly can. And He will. He will help us to grow up to be the best person we possibly can. So perhaps this morning you'd like to think about some of those things that you don't like about yourself, some of the things that you're not happy about. And you might like to ask God to help you to be just that little bit better, that little bit more able to listen, that little bit more patient, that little bit more kind, and ask for God's strength to help you